Hey there guys, Next Strike here, back again for another video, and today it is time to review Legend of Korra, episode 5 of season 2, Peacekeepers I believe is what it is called. Yes, Peacekeepers. So this episode, man, a lot happened in this episode, so it's going to be difficult, and I'm going to miss some stuff. I know I am, so if I miss anything, feel free to tell me below, because this episode was very cluttered, which not necessarily a bad thing, but we'll get into that later. So the episode starts with Korra and Mako arriving to Republic City to try and get the president of the United Forces, or United, whatever they're called, those people, you know, the army. They want them to help with the Civil War, and they run into Lin Beifong, and she's all, oh, this is just another mess the Avatars caused, whatever. I found that a bit odd because it seemed like her and Lin Beifong were hitting it off pretty well, and then now she's kind of mistreating her again a little bit, but not too much, I guess. I guess that's kind of just the way her personality is. You know, she's kind of like Toph, where Toph would insult her friends, but then she'd honestly care about them. So she's probably about the same, and not too off-putting. But yeah, anyway, so she goes to the president, and the president is like, you know, I can't do this because we don't know if it was them or not. And Mako is actually on his side, and he's like, yeah, this is legit. We can't just assume. And you know, we can't. Well, oh, actually, I'm talking about two different things. Okay, so they're talking about how they can't assume that the North is responsible for the attack on one of their buildings and during a peace riot, and then the president's, you know, like, hey, we can't help because that's like a domestic thing, and we can't do that. You know, like, it's a civil war. You can't really interrupt a civil war. You gotta tell that to the United States. But anyway, so yeah, he can't interrupt the civil war, and he feels that isn't ethical. And then Mako's like, yeah, I don't know if we should either. You know, that's just it's a thing that the Civil War, or like the water tribes, need to solve for themselves. Now that's a bit of a tricky subject, so I'm glad that they're hitting on this, because it is it's been a thing that a lot of people have struggled with in real life, so it's cool that they're tackling that. And yeah, I don't know, the bombing seemed a bit random. Like, the whole part with them having a peace rally randomly in Republic City for no reason seemed kind of weird. I guess the news somehow got to Republic City, and then the people from the Water Tribe in Republic City were against that, and then someone set them up, and then Mako's trying his best to figure it out, and then Korra's, kind of exploding like a hothead. And this is one of my favorite moments of the episode. Mako finally tells the Avatar, no, you're wrong. And I love it. Mako finally sticks up for himself, and he's finally developing a character. This is what I've wanted for him from the very beginning. He just, he's been so bland, and he's been so, yeah, I'm just the firebender of the group. Now he's finally going to develop a character. And I hope it's not solely based on the fact that he's with Korra, But I do like how it wasn't all happy-go-lucky, ooh, we're in a relationship, blah, blah, blah. They actually broke up, and it's great, because now there's a lot of room for things to happen. And I really hope Mako takes this police thing, and really develops from it and becomes a really awesome fighter. And, the whole breakup scene was also kind of touching, but not really. I mean, I knew it would happen because they were splitting paths. So, again, I find that interesting, and I'm glad it happened. Of course, they're going to get together at some point, but yeah, I just hope that things get interesting from here on out, because now that Korra is going to be in a spirit, which I guess, at the very end she gets swallowed up by spirit after fighting Eska and her brother. I don't remember the brother's name, but I guess Eska is going to be a really important character now, so that's kind of interesting. I like her when she's all, like, depressed and sad and all messed up like that. I think it's really interesting, and I hope that she becomes a really interesting character. So yeah, and then Korra's going to be probably in the spirit world now, so the spirit thing is going to start taking place. Let's see, what is the next episode called? The Sting. So I have no idea what that one's going to be about, but my guess is she's going to be in the spirit world, because after that, it's the beginnings part 1 and 2, and then the guide, which I'm assuming are all related to the spirit world. At least I know that the beginning part 1 and 2 are, because she talks to the first Avatar, which I'm really interested to see that story. That should be really cool. And let's see, aside from that stuff, she tries to talk to General Iroh, which I'm so glad General Iroh's back as well. But the thing is, General Iroh and Lin Beifong are two of the coolest characters, and they didn't do anything. Actually, same with Tenzin. Tenzin also hasn't done anything this season, so it kind of sucks that the coolest characters are just sitting back like, yeah, whatever. But, it is cool to have them still talking and doing things at some point. I'm assuming that they're really not going to do too much. They were just there to sort of cameo, and they'll probably be more important in a later season. So probably it for them, but we don't know. We'll have to see. And what else is there to talk about? I mean, there's a lot. Was Mako right in ratting them out or not? I think, again, that's kind of tricky, but I do understand where he comes from. I mean, it's kind of dirty to rat, but at the same time, he's really trying to prevent a problem, and he's, he even said, like, you cause all these problems, Korra. Yes, she does cause a lot of problems. I'm glad someone recognizes that. Jeez. And maybe she'll finally realize, oh, I'm a hothead and I cause all these problems. Maybe I should fix myself, just something. That would be nice. But, aside from that, we had the side story with Tenzin and Milo, and that was not really very enjoyable. Actually, it seemed completely pointless, to be quite honest, because all he does is train lemurs. Yeah, that's it. Nothing else. Kind of weird. But I guess it is kind of developing the airbenders, which I do like, because I like Milo a lot now, and I like Jinora, and I like Iki. I like all three of them, really. They're all good. And then, Tenzin and Kai and Bumi. I like all of those characters, so that is really cool. Sorry, I don't really like Tenzin's wife, because she kind of doesn't really do anything. Not that I don't like her, it's just she's not really like a character I think about every episode, So, yeah, he just trains lemurs. I found it kind of odd that Tenzin made him so, like, strict on the lemur. It's like, geez, man, what's your problem? And then, he realizes, like, oh, maybe I was too strict. But I don't know what it is, but, like, the Tenzin arcs, they always seem to be like the old school Avatar stories where it's like they learn their lesson from something and then they actually apply it. Whereas Korra is more like, a hothead, and she doesn't learn half the crap she's supposed to. Just kind of irritating, but, it's a pretty decent episode overall. And then we had Varrick, who was really cool. I really like Varrick now. He's coming up with all these brilliant things and coming up with propaganda, which is really cool because, that's like a big part of history is propaganda. We use that all the time to make it to look like the opposing side is evil, I mean, there's still propaganda now, so it's cool that we're seeing that in the series. I don't know how that's going to play out, but yeah. And I guess that's where Bolin's point is going to be now, is he's going to be helping Varrick a lot, which I don't mind. It's just I hope that he becomes a very relevant character, and I hope he's actually can fight when he needs to, like Sokka, since he is kind of like that same character. So, yeah, we shall see what happens there. But yeah, I mean, it was kind of a mixed episode because there's just so much that happened. It wasn't very focused at all. Like, I just wish they'd had more time to flesh out some of that stuff, So, overall, decent episode. Probably not as good as last week's, but it's got a lot of interesting things going for it, and we shall see where that goes. Oh, yeah, and the president. I forgot to mention this. The president seems kind of shady. Not too shady, but he seems a little bit mysterious. I like how they're doing that. Kind of like how, what's his name? Tarlok. Tarlok was like that, too. It's like you kind of felt off by him, but at the same time, it's like, well, he's not really doing anything bad. I don't know. But, yeah, it should be interesting to see where that all goes. And, yeah, that's oh yeah, and they're going to see the Fire Lord, which is Zuko's daughter, which would be awesome. And I hope that Zuko also appears. That would be really cool. Crossing my fingers, hoping for the best. But yeah, I think seeing Zuko's daughter, figuring out who Zuko married, and then maybe even seeing Zuko would be really cool. So I hope for the best. And that's all I had for now, guys. Tell me below what your thoughts are. Thumbs up if you like, subscribe if you liked, and I'll catch you guys later.